adventurers, do I have something for you today? If you like fruit, especially tropical fruit, and you want to grow them in your backyard, I'm going to show you how Denise up here in Lithonoa, living in a HOA, is growing all these fruit that you're going to see. And she has a family, she got kids, 3 kids, and she's doing all of this. I told her she should have her own YouTube channel. She don't have time. Anyway, enjoy this video and I'll explain some things to you. And at the end, I'll show you how you too can also grow your own fruit whether you live in a HOA. Now, if you live in a building, it's different. But, you know, like an apartment building, you're not going to be able to do this. You have to have space outside to put at least put a little greenhouse. So let's go. So the first fruit on the list is this guava. She bought this guava over in Logansville, and we're in Georgia, so I'm talking about Georgia. But I think, you know, I'll check to see if this company has stores in other areas. But she got these guava, and look, the guava is bearing. I don't know if she got it with blossoms on it, but in no time it was bearing, and it's earlier this year. Young guava, soon to be picked. Yeah, so she paid like $12.50 for this guava, you know, not too expensive if you really want these tropical fruit. And they have a lot of other fruit, so, you know, it's, I'll find the name of the store. Look at this, they even have sauce, especially if you live in Georgia. It's a little bit more expensive, $14.50. And they might ship, that's not a bad price. Of course, it might change by the time you get there. Anyway, yeah, lots of tropical fruit they have. And she bought quite a bit for she and her family. She's growing a lot of fruit, lots of citrus. She got, this is grapefruit, but she got kumquat. Tangerine, she had sent me pictures of tangerine like last year also. She got orange, lemon, everything. So just take a look at them. So one of the good things about planting in containers or growing in containers, especially these fruit that she's growing, some of them I think are in the ground, but she keeps most of them in her greenhouse during the winter time. So, and in the summertime, you can move them outside. So then it's a good idea to plant them in the containers so you can move them outside in the summertime and put them in the greenhouse when it gets cold, right? Okay. I hope you get to stay and watch near the end of the video where I'm going to talk about, show you how you can make one of those greenhouses cheaper. Not, you know, it's cheaper. It's a kettle panel greenhouse. And, you know, you could put it in, this, Denise is living in a HOA. So just like where I live here, but when I have my greenhouse, I put it in the back away from prying eyes. So if you have a space, you can, you know, get one and do the same thing. So don't deny yourself the benefit of having all these fresh fruits when you could just get a greenhouse and put it in your backyard.
Gonna take it slow.
So this is East Indian mango, well known in Jamaica, and people crave a plant. We claim it as ours, but it's actually from India, Southeast Asia, mainly India. So that's where it comes from if you didn't know. But they're big and juicy, and you get a lot from one mango. They mainly grow between May to September. And between that, you can get lots of different, maybe at least two seasons of fruit out of it. So they'll ripe and go back, blossom and ripe again. So it's a good one to grow. And they can get up to 40 feet, but you'll have to cut them. If you're growing them in a pot, they're not going to get that big. For one, the root ball is going to be smaller. But if you plant them in the ground, they could get that big. Only if you live in an area where they're going to survive. So, and these are what they look like when they're ripe. Man, my mouth is watering. Really. Oh. So, that's what they look like, and they're delicious. I want to draw your attention to the peaches now. The Georgia peaches, as Denise said. She's growing them, and if you notice, some of the mangoes are also covered. You buy these little bags on Amazon. I'll put links to everything below, but you can cover them on the tree because all kind of stuff eat them. Squirrels eat them, birds will make a meal of them, and you get nothing. So if you don't cover them, but yeah, these are great Georgia peaches, as she put, and she's doing them in containers. Can you imagine? Jamaican gungo, otherwise called pigeon peas. The proper name is pigeon peas, I understand, but we call it gungo in Jamaica. And these generally blossom in in September, November. So, if you're in a cold area, by the time they're ready to be here, they're dead. That happened to me 2 years in a row. Didn't get any. But since Denise sent me these 6-month gungo, 2 years in a row now I grow gungo outside. I started them December, January, and in June I have. Look at her tree right now. They're ready to be picked. They're ripe and ready to be picked. She can make a nice pot of rice and peas out of it.
Gonna take it slow when I'm loving you.
So this is elderberry, and it's loaded with blossoms and young berries. I've never tasted elderberry before. Have you? I have no idea what it tastes like, but I hope to get some soon to see. And I put some real fruit when it's ripe at the end of this section, so you'll see what elderberry look like. There you go. So this is Jamaican callaloo she's growing here. And you see she has to put the mesh over it. Just like I have the mesh outside protecting from the deer, she has mesh over it to protect it, because there's these butterflies, the yellow butterflies, you see them flitting around. A lot of them will eat up your callaloo and your greens. Is there anything that Denise isn't growing? Sugarcane. I grow sugarcane 1 year in a bucket. I did a video on it. It can look like 2 years ago. But she's growing sugarcane. And I don't know if she has them in the ground. I never remember to ask her. Comment below, Denise. Thanks.
Gonna take it slow. When I'm loving you. Gonna take it slow.
Well, as you can imagine, if you're growing a lot of stuff, you got to reap. So she's been reaping potatoes, onions, tomatoes, fruit upon fruit, and she make jams and jellies, and she preserve them. She make juice for her kids out of some of the between the peaches and the oranges and whatever. So she's doing a great job. Lots of onions. Onions don't. I don't do well with onions. I don't know. I have to say Denise is a superwoman because she make all this stuff. She grow all this stuff all by herself. I think her husband helped her with the greenhouse, but mainly she run the garden. And I tell you, these are all since this year. She label and bottle all of these fruit and jams and jellies.
When I'm loving you.
I remember she sent me a picture, I don't know where it is, of some of the stuff she's been eating. You know, she make meals out of it. But this is all 2024 that she did these, and look at the bottles. So she's doing a great job, and it's a lot of women do this. I know a lot of you women, all of us, we have to do these kind of things to run a household.
Gonna take it slow.
Let's talk about the greenhouse. This is one of Denise's greenhouse, and this is a piece she put on the side of her house. But her main greenhouse is in the back. That was the first one. She had things growing out here, and she just created this greenhouse on the side here. You know, where she grow the fruit, I think. Anyway, this is the back greenhouse that she have in the backyard, and she live in a HOA, you know. So anyway, you know, you can do whatever you want if you try. And I'm gonna tell you about these greenhouses. This is what it can look like inside, you know. This is plastic that you put over it. You don't have to use glass, and you can put bricks on the floor or whatever you want. But most of this stuff, you know, I generally buy the little cheap greenhouse on Amazon that blow down. I'm never gonna buy another one because I bought them and they keep blowing down because it's very windy over here. But this is what your greenhouse can look like in your backyard. It don't have to be big, you can make it any size. There's a guy on YouTube that I found some time ago that made a greenhouse, and he shows you how to buy everything. This is the plastic you're gonna use, and I'm gonna put all the links below because this is something you can do. And you're gonna buy what they call cattle panel. And they're not expensive. I think they go like $16 per panel. And you can buy maybe 3 or 4 and make your greenhouse. There's other ways to it. This is the cattle panel. And they bend. So you know you can bend it over. There's all kind of ways to make it. But I'll put a link to the guy on YouTube here that I think make the best cattle panel. Because he explained everything. You have to use pool noodles. Yeah, whoever thought pool noodles for kids and the pool, right? But you use pool noodles to cover the top part above the metal so that it don't burn out so that it don't burn out. The metal will get hot in the summer and burn the plastic. But if you put pool noodles over it, it won't burn the plastic. And he explained all of that. Now you're gonna need some 2x4s, you know. Anybody can do this. I don't have the strength anymore. I'd have to ask my son. But I don't want to do one of these right now because I'm going to make a move. Anyway, you're going to need 2x4s. You need some nails, some plastic that you can find on Amazon. And I'll put a link on strength and your strength. And a power drill. Not power drill, a screw. You know, the one that you take your screw with. But that's what you need to make this, and it's easy. And the thing about, they say it sway in the breeze. The kettle panel will sway with the breeze sometime, and it don't fall over if you have a lot of wind. Because wind is the problem for, is a problem for people with greenhouses. They always have to worry about the wind, and the cold. And then he says she use a heater to warm her greenhouse. But if you're into solar, you can use solar power. It's free power out there. You can think of all kind of things. And they sell little solar panel heater on Amazon now. I saw them the other day. Crazy. So I want to say a big thank you to Denise up there in Lithonoa, Georgia, for sending me all these pictures and for all the wonderful work you're doing. Appreciate it. Thank you. So this is the guy, Zach, that made the best kettle panel greenhouse I see on YouTube. There's a lot of them, and he was one of the original ones. But he tells you everything. He has the list. He gives you the list of everything to buy to make your kettle panel greenhouse and the cost. It was only a couple $100. And he's very down to earth about it and tell you exactly what to do. So I'm going to put a link below and you can watch him. All right? So this is Speck. Hello, Speck. This is Denise's daughter's dog. So I call him her granddog. Denise, in case you didn't know, that's what I call him. Now you know. He's a Portuguese water dog. I think that's what it's called. A Portuguese water dog. Very cute. He almost looked like a Shih Tzu in some ways. We had a Shih Tzu. But he's so cute. I thought I would just put him in the video as part of the family. Because he goes everywhere with Denise. It's her daughter's dog, but he goes everywhere with her. Next week, I'm going to feature Kevin on my channel. Kevin cooks some of the most delicious food, and he loves spicy foods. He loves Jamaica, and he eats a lot of spice. He buys a lot of my sauces also. And send me pictures of jerk fish and everything else. Anyway, I'm going to feature him next week. If you want to be featured on my channel, kindly contact me. Get in touch with me. You can find my Facebook page underneath links. And let me know. You have to send me pictures, and I have to have something interesting to talk about. I have to talk about something that's interesting. Any plants, any food, and so on. So, all right. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to press the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay? I'm trying to get to a certain number. And please press the like at least. If you like it, press like. Thanks. Bye-bye.
la, la, la.